the years after Charles Lindbergh's famous non-stop flight across the Atlantic, he and his wife Anne lived on a beautiful 390-acre estate on the outskirts of Hopewell, New Jersey. They wanted to get away from the constant attention of the media. It was not going to happen. In 1932, a terrible crime shocked the whole country and made the Lindberghs and their tragedy front-page news for months. What exactly happened? There is only one way to find out. Watch this video till the end. You won't believe what happened. At around 9 p.m. on March 1, 1932, Charles Augustus Lindbergh Jr., 20 months old, was taken from the nursery on the second floor of the Lindbergh home near Hopewell, New Jersey. He was the son of the famous pilot, Charles Augustus Lindbergh and Anne Morrill Lindbergh. Around 10 p.m., the child's parents, who were at home at the time, were told that the child was missing. Right away, the building was searched, and a note demanding $50,000 was discovered on the windowsill of the nursery. The report was sent by phone to the New Jersey State Police, who took over the case after the Hopewell police were told about it. Mud was found on the nursery floor during the search at the crime scene. Nobody could tell how big the footprints that were found under the nursery window were. 2 pieces of the ladder were used to get to the window. One of the pieces was broken where it joined the other piece, which means the ladder broke while being used to go up or down. There were no fingerprints or blood marks in or near the nursery. Employees of the household and land were questioned and looked into. Colonel Lindbergh asked friends to talk to the kidnappers, and those friends asked a lot of people to ask the kidnappers to start talking. In order to get in touch with the kidnappers, different criminals had to be dealt with, and many hints were found and followed up on. There were a lot of ransom notes before the ransom was paid, but still, the child didn't turn up. The kidnapped baby's body was found by accident on May 12, 1932, about 4.5 miles southeast of the Lindbergh home, 45 feet from the highway, near Mount Rose, New Jersey, in Mercer County. It was partly buried and badly decomposed. A truck driver named Orville Wilson's helper, William Allen, made the find. The brain had a hole in it, and parts of the body were missing. The head was crushed. On May 13, 1932, the body was burned in Trenton, New Jersey, after it was definitely identified. After being looked at by the coroner, it was found that the child had been dead for about 2 months and had been hit in the head. The president's proclamation requiring the return to the treasury of all gold and gold certificates was a valuable aid in the case, inasmuch as $40,000 of the ransom money had been paid in gold certificates, and at the time of the proclamation, a large portion of this money was known to be outstanding. Therefore, this phase of the investigation was emphasized. During the 7 months before August 20, 1934, no gold certificates were found except for the ones that were sent to the Federal Reserve Bank. Beginning on August 20, 1934, and going through September, 16 gold certificates were found, with most of them being found near Yorkville and Harlem. The chance that had been waiting for a long time had finally come. As each bill was found, a colored pin was placed on a big map of the metropolitan area to show where it was found. This showed the movements of the person or people who might be passing the ransom money. For the first time in the case's history, investigators were able to confirm that the person who was passing these bills was exactly the person Dr. Condon had identified as John. After looking into it, it was found that the bills were mostly being passed at corner produce shops. Around 1:30 p.m. on September 18, 1934, the assistant manager of the Corn Exchange Bank and Trust Company in New York City called the New York City Bureau office to say that one of the workers had found a $10 gold certificate a short time earlier. In a short time, it was found that this bill had come from a gas station in New York City at 127th Street and Lexington Avenue. An alert worker got a bill for 5 gallons of gasoline on September 15, 1934, from a man who looked a lot like the person who had been passing other bills for the past few weeks. Because the gas station worker wasn't sure about the $10 gold certificate, he wrote down the license number of the car the buyer was driving on the bill. This license number was issued to Bruno Richard Hauptmann, 1279 East 22nd Street, Bronx, New York. The federal and local governments kept a close eye on Hauptmann's house from the night of September 18, 1934 until around 9 a.m. According to Dr. Condon and the gas station worker, on September 19, 1934, a person who closely matched the description of John and the description of the person who bought gas left his house and got into his nearby parked car. He was quickly arrested by people from all 3 of the departments involved. He turned out to be Bruno Richard Hauptmann, the person who had been given the driver's license. Hauptmann is German and has lived in the U.S. for about 11 years as a builder. He was found with a $20 gold ransom note on him. Dr. Condon said that he looked just like John, and in his house, they found a pair of shoes that had been bought with a $20 ransom note that had been found on September 8, 1934. After the Lindbergh baby was kidnapped, a series of ransom notes led to a meeting between Dr. John Condon, who was representing the Lindbergh family, and a mysterious man named John. Based on Dr. Condon's description, an artist's sketch of John was made, and it turned out to be a very good match for Bruno Richard Hauptmann. Hauptmann was finally arrested on September 19, 1934, after a huge investigation led by the New Jersey State Police and backed by the FBI. Hauptmann, who was 35 years old, was from Saxony, Germany, according to more research. He had been to jail for robbery and had a record for it. He snuck away on the SSH Nova in Bremen, Germany, early in July 1923. On July 13, 1923, he arrived at the port of New York City. He was caught and deported right away. Hauptmann tried to enter the United States again in August, but failed. His third attempt on the George Washington in November 1923 was successful. Anna Schuffler was a waitress in New York City. Hauptmann married her on October 10, 1925. In 1933, they had a son named Manfred. Hauptmann worked as a carpenter while he was in New York City illegally, and until the spring of 1932. But not long after the kidnapping on March 1, 1932, Hauptmann started trading stocks a lot and never went back to work. Hauptmann was charged with blackmail in the Supreme Court of Bronx County, New York, on September 26, 1934. He was also charged with murder in Hunterdon County, New Jersey, on October 8, 1934. 2 days later, the governor of the state of New Jersey asked the governor of the state of New York to release Bruno Richard Hauptmann. On October 19, 1934, he was taken to the Hunterdon County Jail in Flemington, New Jersey, to wait for his trial. The trial of Hauptmann started in Flemington, New Jersey, on January 3, 1934, and went on for 5 weeks. Only hints of guilt were used to build the case against him. The marks on the ladder showed that they were made by tools that Hauptmann owned. It was found that the wood in the ladder matched the wood that was used to floor his attic. His phone number and address were written in pencil on the frame of a closet door. The ransom notes were written in a style that looked like Hauptmann's. The jury came back with a decision on February 13, 1935. Hauptmann broke the law by killing the person. Death is the sentence. The defense made a case. On October 9, 1935, the Supreme Court of the state of New Jersey approved the lower court's decision. On December 9, 1935, Hauptmann's appeal to the Supreme Court of the United States was turned down. On January 17, 1936, he was to be killed. But on the same day, the governor of the state of New Jersey gave Hauptmann a 30-day reprieve. On February 17, 1936, he was given a new sentence and told he would be killed during the week of March 30, 1936. Bruno Richard Hauptmann was put to death by electricity on April 3, 1936, at 8:47 p.m. after his request for mercy was turned down by the Pardon Court of the state of New Jersey on March 30, 1936. The Lindbergh Kidnapping remains one of the most infamous crimes in American history, capturing the nation's attention and leaving a lasting impact on the Lindbergh family and the world. The tragic story of Charles Lindbergh Jr.'s abduction and murder is a reminder of the darkness that can exist in our society. Join us in our next video as we explore more fascinating stories from the world of crime and mystery. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel for more intriguing content. What are your thoughts on the Lindbergh kidnapping case? Let us know in the comments below.